Собаки вигризають.
Just walking through the street like we are now. That house is gone. That's the fence with the door in this street right
Тут
there.
були взриви. В місті жили, дітей воспитували, внуків. І нельзя було його забрати.
This is a location where many of the first videos of the Russian occupation of northern Ukraine came out. And at this very intersection, as the one behind me, you can see villagers killed in the street by Russian tanks. Someone taking bread, someone walking home to their husband. They were just instantly killed on the street here. Many of the houses here are new, like these are all new and on the main road there. That's not because they are rich people here, it's because everything was destroyed by the Russians.
This is administrative, it is Bucha, and after crossroad, after traffic light is Irpin, and on left it is trade center Giraffe, and you can see now you will see bus stop Giraffe.
Yeah.
Over here.
Oh yeah.
It's Giraffe, yeah? That's it. It was absolutely destroyed. Russia brought Russian culture here.
Yeah. Another palace of culture destroyed by the Russians. Oh, it's dark. It's burnt out completely.
Oh, alarm.
Again?
Alarm again.
Right. Oh yeah. Let's see here it is. Air raid alert people. So we're checking what's going on here. Oh wow. That's how it looked like. That's how this room looks like. Molten steel. Bricks. Completely destroyed. Completely destroyed, burnt. I think it's hard to see with my small camera, so I also add in some shots with my other camera. It's black anyway because it's completely burnt, but this is what Russia does with the houses of culture, which were basically civic centers. This is a palace of culture in the Bucha area, completely destroyed by the Russians, as you saw earlier. We have just had an air raid alert for possible drones, so we are on high alert. And I'm walking outside just to be sure, because you never know, they might hit it again. This damage is tanks, and it's most likely Ukrainian tanks, because the Russians were right over there. Bullet holes and fragments of mortars and stuff like that everywhere, and it's only from this direction because the Russians came from right behind me. That building has been renovated, looks really nice. Right across it is another building that has not been touched yet. That was apparently an office building as far as I can see, with bullet holes still everywhere there. On the corner it was damaged as well. Every piece of damage is a piece of mortar, artillery. The very first defensive line Ukraine was able to build up to defend the country from being invaded further by the Russians is right here in Irpin. We are on a dugout. It is called checkpoint Giraffe. Checkpoints like these are very common. You will find them everywhere if you look for them. I arrived here by train yesterday and saw dozens of them along the train tracks, but those are all active and staffed. You are not allowed to film them, neither are you to disseminate any information on them. So this one I can show you, and that's the only one you get from me. Entrance, dugout, Ukraine. If it wasn't clear yet, this checkpoint is named after the nearby Giraffe shopping center. As it's an icon in the area, every local instantly knows where it is. So the air raid alert from a while ago was for a reconnaissance drone, a Russian one, which most likely means that another bigger attack is coming up. Hopefully it doesn't, but the matter of fact is that it probably will be. We are now walking to the neighborhood directly behind the damaged office building we saw from the Palace of Culture earlier. From the main road here, it's not really clear how much damage was done to this part of Irpin, as many houses and other buildings have been renovated since the Russians left the area. This doesn't mean everything is fine though. Many buildings were severely damaged and need extensive repairs or even proper demolition to allow for new buildings to be constructed. This is just one of the many ordinary neighborhoods where Russians destroyed a tight community in order to get what they want. Yet they never got it.
This part of the high-rise building was terribly damaged.
Yeah.
But that one survived due to this building, because of this building was covered.
Oh, for the
That part, yeah.
Yeah.
That part.
everything you see is damaged or destroyed. But renovation crews are working on restoring housing for the people. So this building is a office building of a company that was behind it where we walked through. Completely destroyed, as you can see.
I think it is tank show.
At the site of the Irpin police department we find this sculpture. It's made from all kinds of spent ammunition, from mortars to parts of Russian missiles. Everything you see here was locally sourced material, in air quotes, as the Russians tried to occupy Irpin on their way to Kyiv in February and March of 2022. The buildings of the police department were also severely damaged, but Ukraine has made sure to restore proper law and order in this area as soon as they had the chance to do so. Also with rebuilding the entire precinct here.
This is for howitzer, 122mm.
No iron is enough, as a will is stuff.
We're here. This is the road to Kyiv.
Yep.
Road to Kyiv, and this photo was taken from up there,
Yes,
from
at the right,
satellites
yeah.
3 years ago,
Yeah.
and these cars were blocked.
Yeah.
Russians from this side, and this is Romaniv Bridge. So some of these cars here.
All the cars you see here piled up, burned out, were cars that were stuck on the main road from Irpin to Kyiv. The bridge right in front of us was blown up. They weren't able to escape. If you open Google Maps and enter the coordinates I show on the screen right now, you can see these very vehicles stuck before the destroyed bridge. It's not far history, it happened just a few years ago. And then you are stuck in front of a bridge that has been destroyed and you have nowhere to go. The area of Irpin and Bucha, where we are now, is very forested. It looks amazing here in summer right now. But the horrors of the past aren't far away. Every street corner, every parking lot, every building that has not been completely renovated has its own very visible story of recent historic events that aren't history for Ukraine at all. The forests around here, around Kyiv, Irpin and Bucha, are basically no-go zones right now. The Ukrainian military has taken over parts of the forests and has set up security posts, but also on other parts you might find unexploded devices hanging around. You don't want to stumble into those. Outside of that, if you want to see greenery and trees, just visit any city park. There's one really nearby here in Irpin, just north of here, which is perfectly safe and really clean. But don't wander off into any random forest. This is the main road from Irpin right over there, and which are behind it, to Kyiv. The Russians never made it this far, but managed to kill a lot of people here. We're on the main highway to Kyiv, coming from the west. This is the highway the Russians were aiming to take as well, but they never made it this far. Unfortunately, protecting Kyiv wasn't easy nor free. The Romaniv Bridge was blown up by the Ukrainians to make sure it could not be used by the invading Russians. The remaining sections of the old bridge are directly alongside the newly constructed bridge we are on now. A large number of vehicles with fleeing Ukrainians became stuck in between the blown up bridge and the advancing Russians, causing the Russians to strike the jammed traffic to inflict as much kills as possible. The Romaniv Bridge, blown up on February 25, 2022 by the armed forces of Ukraine, played a crucial role in halting the advance of the Russian forces towards the Ukrainian capital. The path under the destroyed Romaniv Bridge became the road of life for local residents, serving as their only escape route from intense hostilities. This route saved thousands of lives. The site of the destroyed Romaniv Bridge, with civilians striving to escape, has become one of the most poignant symbols of this war. That bus, upside down as you can see it here, came crashing down when the bridge was blown up. It now stands as a memorial for those trapped on the wrong side of the bridge with the Russians advancing. Many though made it out alive by emergency walkways under and near the bridge, mostly created by the aftermath of that very bridge being blown up. The destroyed bridge has become somewhat of a pilgrimage destination. The Irpin River, which the Romaniv Bridge crosses here, is roughly the place where the Russians were properly stopped, as the Bucha River, just north from here, isn't wide enough to form a proper defensive line in case of another full-on assault by Russia. That fortunately never took place here. From the emergency bridge directly east of the destroyed Romaniv Bridge, earlier on used to bring in troops to the newly liberated areas as soon as the Russians left, is still there and serves as a safe place to visit its memorial site and see it from a different direction. This is the Irpin River, the river that the Russians would never cross because of the resilience of the Ukrainians. It's just a few meters wide, but it was enough to stop and later repel the Russians from large swaths of occupied land in the border regions north of Kyiv.